Rise and grind, push the line. It's your boy Jay from the K, and you already know what it is. Before we jump into the video, just want to let you know this was one of those days I was having technical difficulties, so just bear with it. All right, now last Triple M we talked about being on our bounce back game. So now we're in 2021. We're halfway through the month. We got 348 days left in this year. So we have a lot of time to get to our success. So let me ask you a question though real quick. How many of y'all, by a show of hands, are keeping to your New Year's resolution that you made? Because I know some of y'all made New Year's resolutions. Some of y'all said you're gonna stay on track with your diet. Some of y'all said you're gonna be getting your money up. Some of y'all said you're gonna be in the gym every day. Some of y'all said you're gonna be waking up earlier, staying up later, working on that essay for school. You're gonna be grinding and grinding and grinding, right? How many of us really are doing it? That's the question. Now, if you aren't doing it, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, we got 348 days left in this year. Let me remind you also, a just person falls several times but gets back up. So as long as you get yourself back up, dust yourself off, try again, you're gonna be okay. So in one of my prior videos, I gave you the acronym for FOCUS, which was follow one course until successful. And so because we have 348 days, we're in for a long journey. So I want to remind you now to stay on course, to stay focused. So you know what your goal is. So now what you need to do is develop a roadmap on how to get there. All right. So once you have your roadmap, all you got to do is stay on the road. So you might get detoured, you might get derailed, but you get back on the road and you keep going and you're going to reach your destination called success. So another thing I want to encourage you, if you remember one of my prior videos, we talked about our network. So this doesn't stop. This stuff is continual. So this year, let's go ahead and start identifying those people we're going to have in our network that's going to be a part of our community, because some of these people are going to be able to be some of our accountability partners, which we all need. So that accountability partner is going to help you stay on track. You're going to help them stay on track. You're going to celebrate your wins together, and you're going to grieve your losses together. But that's going to help you be more focused, and it's going to inspire you. So let me practice what I preach. I have an accountability partner. So I'm gonna go ahead and confess now. So recently, y'all know I be doing keto, right? I do the keto diet, okay? Well, recently, a brother was going through and had some cravings. And so I happened to just pull over, because I was led by the Spirit, and I pulled over into this parking lot, and lo, there was a Spangles. And that Spangles had a sign that it said, "We have mudslides." Oh my gosh. So I pulled over and got me some ice cream, and it was good to my soul. It was a blessing to me. Nah, but for real. So I had my ice cream and I ate it. It was cool. I had a small size, but I ate it. It was good. I got back on track. Don't beat yourself up this year if you fall off, you get off track. You know what I mean? As long as you get back up and get back on the road, you're good. It might slow your progress down a little bit, but you're still good because you're on the road. So my accountability partner, I know you're about to text me. All right. Okay, so for some of y'all who don't already know what your goal is, I mean, everybody generally wants to be successful, but if you haven't already, being very specific about your goal, so you want to use a SMART technique. All right, you want to be specific, you want to be able to measure your progress, you want to have a goal that you know is attainable, and you want to have a goal that needs to be result oriented. Okay, but then one of the most important things is very critical to your success is giving yourself a time frame. And so if you say that you want to lose weight, you want to lose 30 pounds this year, to say 30 pounds this year is broad. But if you say I want to lose 30 pounds by March, now you have a real goal and you have a deadline. And so that's going to give you a sense of urgency, and it's going to help you stay focused and stay on track. And you can measure your progress from now till the end of March. And so that's what you want to do with your goals, okay? But once you've been very clear about it, you're very specific about it, now you can really get on the roadmap plan and really follow that thing through. Okay, now somebody is saying, man, right now I really don't have time to follow any goals or sit down and plan my goals out and all that. Okay, so let me tell you, flag on the play. You got the time. So if you work a traditional job, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours of your day is going to be spoken for. And so we ain't got to worry about that. But it's the rest of the time that we do need to think about, okay? And so you can get up a little bit earlier and you can block out a few hours. So let's say you got to work on the essay for school. When you got a few hours in the morning, you can do that. Let's say you want to get yourself together spiritually. Well, you got a few hours in the morning that you can You can get up, read, pray, meditate, whatever it is you do, okay? And so let's say you want to work on your relationship. So maybe in the evening you got a few hours before you bed down that you and your lady can go out for a movie. No, you can't go for a movie because we're in COVID. Come on now. But you can go to a restaurant. You can go to a restaurant, all right? But you can spend some time with them a few hours in the evening. So you have the availability. We just got to really sit down, and that's going to be the hardest part. And the most crucial part right now is going to be stopping what you're doing, sitting down, identifying what your time looks like, and then go ahead and carve out some of that time for what it is that you want to do. But you can do it. So another acronym that I threw at you last year was choice. And that means to consider how one instance can change everything. And so as we're thinking about our plans and our goals, we need to really be very serious about this, because if you think about it, one mess up, the wrong mess up, the wrong choice can throw everything away. And so let's really be serious this year and say, okay, what choices have I made in the past that have prevented me from getting to my goal, that have prevented me from being successful? And then we want to go ahead and start to get rid of some of those things. So once we know what those things are, what those choices are, it's easy to fix this problem. We know what choices we made that were bad. Now, we just need to make the choices that are good. And how do we know those choices are good? Well, we don't really know if all the choices are going to yield all the benefits that we want, but we know if we try and we fail, then we know that choice doesn't work, and we just go down the list until we get the right one. Or if you got an accountability partner, then you can talk to that person. Another thing I talked to you about last year was having a mentor in your network. Okay, so if you have a mentor, someone who's a little bit more skilled than you, has already been through what you've been through, so they got that experience, they're seasoned, you can go to that person and say, hey, look, I'm going through this, I want to try this, I'm trying to get here, what if I do this? And then that person may be able to tell you, actually, I was in your same shoes, I did that, and man, it messed everything up. But then I did this, and that worked out okay. Then I did this, and that really worked out. So maybe you get some better options that way, so you don't have to make the mistakes that somebody else made. That's free game. Now in your network, let's really think about this too. We want to be very prudent about who we have in our network, because we're gonna have naysayers and haters all around us. And some of them be wolves in sheep clothing. You gotta really be honest with yourself and say, does this person deserve to be in my circle right now? The reason why is because your circle is your circle of influence. They have an influence over you. You don't influence the circle. They influence you. And so you gotta ask yourself, why is this person here? Why do I desire this person to be here? What's my affinity towards this person? Because maybe that affinity that you have towards that person is actually something you've outgrown, and you're trying to get past that, but that person is still there. And so that person is going to end up being dead weight for you. Or that person is going to be the person that's going to tell you the wrong advice in the wrong situation. And so you want to be smart about that right now. Before we get too far into this year, start looking around and see who needs to be here, who don't need to be here. All right? And there's no hard feelings. This is like business. There's no hard feelings. We can still be boys, we can still be homegirls, but right now, I'm on this right here, and I got to get to this. If that person has a problem with that, then they ain't your friends anyway, and then you should be okay with letting them go. All right? And if they got a problem with it, tell them I said so. Now, don't be having nobody come looking for me though, because I'm letting you know right now, I ain't with the game. Nah, all right? But for real though, let's be serious about it and think about who needs to be in our network. And the last thing now, we talked about last year, we talk about making investments in ourselves, i.e. sacrifices. So we're gonna cut back some fat so we can build that muscle. We can get lean and fit. So we're gonna get rid of some things in our lives so we can get something in our lives, okay? We got 348 days to get this right. So if you don't do anything else in these 348 days, like you don't secure the bag, or you don't get your body the way you want it to be in the gym, you know what I'm saying? If you don't get the guy or the girl that you really want and all that, if none of that stuff happens, at least in 348 days, you can get yourself right and ready to go into 2022 in a better position. So at least focus on that. Okay, so Operation Bounce Back is in full effect. We got 348 days. We're gonna go out there and get it. So I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a blessed week. Make sure before you leave, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share the video if you think it was useful and you want to share with someone else. That'd be great. So that's all I got for you guys this week. I hope you guys have a great week, do big things, and I hope you guys be blessed and continue to push the line.